You know, again, Vinny said it, man. Simplified issue. You don't have to deal with stuff. Now imagine you're a normal life insurance agent, normal, like we're abnormal life insurance agents. No, man, we're super agents. Those other life insurance agents, they live on fully underwritten. Can you imagine? Number one, fully underwritten is usually a lower commission rate. Okay, like with us, fully underwritten is usually lower um, in many cases, especially the shorter, like 10-year term, fully underwritten. Like, man, you take a big haircut on commissions on those. Not that we do everything for we do everything for commissions, but we are not motivated to close deals because of commissions. But getting a client a policy that's underwritten and they're not declined on or not having to go to medical records on, man, you have no idea until you've worked in the other world of fully underwritten. And I just know with us, our fully underwritten cases, we have a 45% placement, whereas our simplified issue, it's 85%, right? So 85% gets placed with simplified issue, term and whole life, but fully underwritten like UL and term that requires a blood and urine test, it's only got a 45% placement rate. So you're like basically worse than flipping a coin on whether or not you're going to get paid on that. So now there is a way to do it where you can increase your chances. And I've got a pretty powerful video on that if you look it up, how to write fully underwritten. But man, we don't teach it. Okay, basically we don't teach it because we don't want you doing it. Okay, we don't want you doing it because it hurts the client overall. Because like, here's the deal. Once a client gets declined on a fully underwritten, you cannot then turn around and try to go simplified issue term on them because they won't take them. Because in the MIB, it's going to show they've been declined on a fully underwritten, so they're not going to take a chance on them to do simplified issue term. So you can't get like try mutual of Omaha term life answers, and then he gets declined and say, oh, whoops, that's the whoops. Okay, let's submit you on Forrester's simplified issue strong foundation. And Forrester's won't take it because I think one of the questions is, have you ever been declined or rated on a previous policy? There's a lot of those kind of questions. Plus, it's in the MIB. So in the MIB, it shows that he applied for life insurance, got declined. Then they're going to say, hey, what's up with this? Then they're going to decline the simplified issue. So your client gets screwed and tattooed if you always do this, the life insurance agent thing. So that's one thing where we get life insurance agents come on board with us, okay, and they come from the world of, fully underwritten term, okay, and then they go, well, a client this is more expensive. They'll say the simplified issue term with you guys is more expensive. You're screwing your clients. I say, dude, no, we aren't, because we get 85% of them placed. And I said, you're kind of screwing your clients. They go, well, what do you mean? Well, what do you do with the other 55% that don't get placed? Well, they don't have an answer for that. Well, the 45% we do, they're going to get a better price. Some of them, but there's the rest of them are going to get rated up because they'll take up to, usually it's table 4. So they're going to rate them up just like they would with us. But with us, we can get them simplified issue. It's going to be cheaper than a rated up policy with them. So they really, I say they because it is they. It's they because they have no idea what we do. So like, some knucklehead insurance agents that come in thinking that they're all like God's gift insurance, and then they criticize us because, well, you guys are, charge your clients more. It's like, dude, we get most of our clients covered. How about you? And they live in that god-awful world of term. So whether you know it or not, you are in like insurance nirvana with us because you got to deal with all that crap. Can you imagine, like, every time you submit a policy, if it gets issued, it takes about 60 days to get a simplified issue, a fully underwritten policy issued. Because number one, the paramedics, like, remember how it was when you called your client to try to book an appointment, and it took you 3 or 4 weeks to finally get them on the dadgum phone, right? Remember that part where you're chasing them? Well, when you book a paramed exam, then the nurse has to call them up and chase them. So maybe it's another 3 or 4 weeks they finally nail them down for a blood and urine test, right? And then finally when it gets to the blood and urine test, and then it gets processed by underwriting. And then underwriting, they do whatever they do with it. And then, 60 days later, it gets issued 45% of the time. Now, can you imagine every time you turn in apps every week in the real insurance world that you have to go through that crap? And so you're waiting and waiting, and you're dealing with paramed exams, you're dealing with APSs, because they'll APS at the drop of a hat. They see a little code on the MIB, boom, they're asking for an APS. Oh my gosh. So APS is an attending physician statement. So what they got to do is they got to, so here's how it works. The underwriters, they call another third-party company. See, it's such a pain in the butt to get an APS from a doctor. The insurance companies don't even do it themselves. Okay? The insurance companies contract with a third party. It's usually EMSI. And this third party's job is to get the attending physician's report from the doctor, the patient's doctor. Okay, so they got a contract with the company. Say, hey, third party company, EMSI, we need an APS done on this doctor. Okay, now here's the other problem. The MIB hit that caused the APS is with, let's say, the MIB was with a cardiologist. Okay, not the family doctor. But what they do is EMSI they'll tell the EMSI we need an APS from this doctor that's on the application. The problem is that's the family doctor. So EMSI will go out and get the APS, so when they ask for an APS from a doctor, they put an order in the doctor as a form. They pay that doctor $350 to get the records. But the only problem is the medical records gal only comes to the office 2 times a week, Tuesdays and Thursdays, to process records and to make copies of these type of requests. And yours goes on the bottom of the inbox because you got to do the other ones. And after her, 2 hours in the morning, then she takes an hour coffee break and surfs the internet. She comes back 2 hours, and then it's lunchtime, and then it's another 2 hours, gets some coffee. You see what I'm saying? And then she doesn't care that that the client needs to get this done. She doesn't give a squat. She doesn't care. Yours is just going to work its way up to the top of her basket, and she'll just walk over to the copy machine, or she'll look it up, and then she'll hit print, and then she'll mosey on over to the printer. I wonder if it's there. I'll understand and she only gets paid minimum wage to come in 2 times a week. She has no vested interest in you getting paid and the client getting covered. So once they do that, they send the records back to EMSI. EMSI then sends it back to the underwriters, which is probably another week. Okay? And then the underwriters say, oh, this is the wrong doctor. We're looking for the heart records. So then they spend another week going back to EMSI saying, EMSI, please, can you get, I'm sorry. Then they're going to type in on the website, we need the cardiologist information to request records. And if you don't check your pending every day, you check them once a week, that request could be sitting on the website waiting for you to do something about it. It could be sitting there a week until you look it up and you go, hey, what's up? And then you look at it and go, oh my God, you need the cardiologist? Okay, so then you chase your client down, say, hey, client, I need your cardiologist. Well, I don't remember who it is. I think it's a Dr. Smith. And I think he works, I went to his office on, South Main Street, 120, I think it's like 1 something South Main Street. I'm not even sure. Okay, so now you got to look him up on Google, and there's like 50 Dr. Smiths. You got to find the one on South Main Street, and then you're praying to God that that's the right doctor. You give that information to underwriting, who then takes another week to ask for that information from EMSI. EMSI then makes a request. They send another piece of paper to that doctor, and that doctor has a worse medical records person because that person comes in once a week to process records. Okay, so once a week she gets to it. So she doesn't get it out for another 3 weeks. She finally makes copies, sends it to EMSI. EMSI then sends it to the underwriters. Then the underwriters then give that to their medical doctor who reviews all APSs. So they have a medical doctor on staff who flips through the APS, and he's got a stack of them this high, looking through medical records, 5 years worth, to find whatever he's going to find. Oh, highlights, okay, this is a problem with this. And then makes his little notes. Okay, remember, that's in that guy's inbox, because how many medical doctors do they have in underwriting? They don't got 20, right? So that guy's stacked this high. And then he says, you know what, this patient did not disclose his medication. And the medication is a declinable medication. And so he makes his notes, sends it to the underwriter. The underwriter says, oh, this medication is a decline. So after 75 days of all this back and forth crap, you finally learn that your client's declined. And then you got to go back and say, hey, Joe, I got some bad news. You're declined. And he goes, what? You said that this was going to go through at this price. And you say, well, I'm sorry, I thought it would go through. I thought you said you were healthy and they found all this stuff. He goes, well, don't come back because I don't want to work with you anymore. And you think I'm overstating it. I promise you I am not. I am not overstating this. It took me 90 days, we're talking 3 months to get a determination back on a fully underwritten policy. This is like when I've been in the business like 2 years. And it went through all of this. I'm speaking from experience. It was pure hell. So if you want to run your insurance business like that, God bless you, man. You ain't going to make money. It's going to be frustrating, and you will never want to get a life insurance license again. You'll never renew your license, I promise you, and it will drum you out of the business. That's why when you talk to a normal insurance agent, they hate that stuff, right? A lot of them are doing it just to get into, because they're, securities license, they're really kind of trying to get them into, some variable universal life product or whatever. Okay, so that's 55% of the cases out there versus 45. So I don't know about you, gang, but I'd rather have 85% of mine get placed, the simplified issue, right?